My traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, we're not doing the full intro today. I don't know if we're doing the outro because this is a yellow transmission. And now before I get started, the yellow transmission is always a second post of the day. This is a reading. However, this reading is only for people who are comfortable with dealing with non-human beings who are off of the plan. And what I mean by off of the plan is that most beings that we're talking about within spiritual circles, magical circles, witchcraft circles, whatever, those beings are all on the plan. So the plan can be represented by a lot of different symbols. I talk about the plan as the cross. So the cross is just a representation of a particular energetic order that we have come to expect as people. When things are off of that plan, we tend to experience it as very frightening because it's very different, not because it is bad or evil or anything like that. So when we're talking about on the plan beings, those are beings like angels, demons, devils, jinn, beings of the earth, chthonic beings. When I say beings of the earth, I mean like the good folk, that sort of thing. Anything that you've heard like that is an on the plan being. The Jack is off of this plan entirely. This is like an outer sort of being, and it is typically, from what I've come to understand, a sort of herald being of when you are ready to step outside of that particular energetic order, either as an individual or all of humanity, right? Because that's kind of ultimately the point. We're not supposed to stay on the plan, from what I understand, but it's a small step for man, but a very large step for mankind. So when you are working with a being like the Jack, the yellow Jack, that is a being that is going to be ushering you through the stages of yourself going off of the plan. And you typically can't just make that jump. That's the individual version of the 7 jump. And so you're going to be dealing with the Jack, or there are probably other heralds, I don't know, but I get the Jack. And that being is going to energetically prepare you to leave the plan, but also be able to return to it. Because if you attempt to leave the plan without going through the proper preparations, you will simply just lose your mind. You won't be able to return to the established order. And that is just kind of defeats the purpose. Unless you super want to go off the plan. Like, I don't know why you would ever really want to do that unless you were going total. Like, you would have to complete the entire actual 7 jump to just leave permanently. And not that many people accomplish that. So anyway, that's kind of the nature of this being, and you can look back at the playlist because there is a larger purpose for what I'm calling the 7 jump, and that is the completion of the initial phase of Western magic, which in my personal theory is the completion of whatever the Tower of Babel actually is, because that is likely not a real tower, though I don't know. It could take the form of a tower in the material world, but it is actually not a tower. And the establishing of the one language, the reestablishing of the one language, people all communicating with each other in one language, though I wouldn't say it would eliminate all of the other languages. Personally, in my opinion, and I don't know if I mentioned this on another yellow transmission, what the one language actually is, it's not like an Adamic language or whatever. What they're talking about is something that is like the reality of what telepathy is. And telepathy is actually not a mental skill. That's where we kind of like freak it up a little bit. Telepathy, or the reality of something like telepathy, is way more based in intimacy, not mentality. It's actually a heart-based thing. And so you can have telepathy or something like it with the people with whom you are most intimate. And so when humanity comes into increasing intimacy with each other, that is how we construct the Tower of Babel. That is how we reclaim the one language, because it's not something that's spoken, it is something that's in the energy. It is something that's like mind to mind, heart to heart. You can't do that without reconciling the opposites on a mass scale. And that's why I'm kind of like, I enjoy talking about all this and being about it in practice, but when I look at the world, right, you're talking about an extreme thing for the most part. Even though I think that's very positive and wonderful and beautiful, you kind of don't get there without a lot of discomfort. You don't establish intimacy without a lot of discomfort and like hard emotional labor and all of that stuff, right? So all of that is kind of what the yellow transmissions are about. But because we are including discussions of a non-human being that for some people off the plan stuff, that's not what they're about at this point in their life, and maybe not at all in this lifetime, you would want to consent to that before watching the videos, because while you cannot have a direct experience of the Jack by just listening to the yellow transmissions. However, listening to this sort of stuff does create intimacy with that energy. It is an invitation. And while I would say it's not dangerous to deal with the Jack, because the most horrible thing that the Jack does, right, that people would encounter as negative, is the Jack continually exposes uncomfortable truths to you. That is one part of the process of preparation for leaving the plan. You have to be able to sit with uncomfortable truths about yourself, and also uncomfortable truths about the world around you. And so people who have the most negative experiences of the Jack, and who go mad, you can go mad dealing with the Jack if you're one of these people. It happened to Jordan Peterson, okay? If you are refusing to accept these things about yourself, what ends up happening is the Jack will terrorize you with those things. And it's due to you trying to like repress it or not acknowledge it and pretend it's not there. That's why the Jack is really a Jack in the box in that sense. It's kind of very startling to confront those things about yourself and about the world. And so that's why some people will be like, oh, well, the clown is evil and blah, blah, blah. And the clown isn't evil. It's just making you uncomfortable. And if you fight that, then yes, it can get very, very bad. Seriously. And so that's why, because like this isn't like a cuddly being or whatever, you also have to understand that before you start listening to things like this. And so as part of this disclaimer, before we begin the official read, I will also say, when I am talking about the yellow Jack and the yellow star and the 7 jump and things like that, right? I am not being metaphorical. I am not dog whistling. I am not making a reference. I'm not making oblique references to anything. I am talking about a literal non-human being that takes the form of a clown that dresses in yellow and black, though there are other Jacks as well. And when I say the yellow star, I am literally talking about a yellow star in another dimension that somehow has a correspondence to our sun, but it is not our sun. The yellow star is not our sun. And it's not an oblique reference to Jewish people. Nothing that I talk about on the yellow transmissions is an oblique reference to Jewish people whatsoever, because some of the content that comes out in the yellow transmissions does talk about media figures who are at least somehow aware of the Jack. Like, I don't know how. I mean, I'm sure within the realm of media that we do have some occultists, some magicians, and all of that. But when we start talking about there are, shady figures that are in media doing things that gets very, very protocols of the elders of Zion very quickly, okay? So I just want to establish that that is absolutely not what's going on here. And in fact, scapegoating is how you end up getting a bad outcome with the jack and bad outcomes in general. We should absolutely not be scapegoating anything or anyone. The yellow transmissions and dealing with the jack is about taking radical personal accountability and dealing with that yourself, not blaming others. So the reason why I am conducting this read is because I had a dream several nights ago, and I was kind of like, okay, but it doesn't feel time for the reading, but we're gonna have to have a yellow transmission soon because it doesn't make sense otherwise. And so now it makes sense. And it's very, well, to me, this is very late at night. And I was like, well, I was gonna wait, right? I was like, well, we can give it tomorrow. And it was like, no, the time is now. There were just too many synchronicities that I was seeing. And I was like, we gotta give the read now. So I'm like, you're really, it's because I'm tired. I'm going to bed right after this. And so the dream I had, I only remember this one part of it that I knew was somehow about the jack, because I don't know if I was standing in a particular place or what was really going on in the dream, but I remember seeing it was like these squares or rectangles. They're really more rectangles, but they're kind of fat rectangles, okay, not thin, or wide rectangles, not narrow. And these rectangles were kind of floating in the air, obviously. And there was sort of a diagonal like line going across them, splitting the rectangle kind of like into two diamonds, right? And the upper part of the diamond, the upper diamond was black and the bottom diamond was yellow. And then there were like markings all on it, like someone had written on it in a language that I didn't understand. It looked like symbols. And so there were just a lot of these hanging in the air. And that's all I remember. It's all that stuck out to me, but I knew when I, like yellow and black, those, they be the colors of the jack. Yellow and black. Something about hornets. I could just be making free associations. I'm not sure. But sometimes I think of hornets when I think of the jack. Also of snakes. Because, you know, that's kind of like red touches yellow. He's a dangerous fellow. Red touches black. He's okay, Jack. So I'm not really sure what this is about. Someone is going to be seeing something that they don't like, and it's the result of the jack. I don't know, this person doesn't want to see this. Whatever it is, it might be something about a particular system or a particular order. Let's go ahead and see what's over here. I never know. I never know what we're gonna get. Oh, this seems like another big thing, perhaps? Yeah. All right, let me look at this. What it seems like is there's something that we're not in control of. And why I'm saying that is like, so we have the devil here. First out, the devil, and you can see the devil is being a puppeteer in this situation. So I'm saying there's like a lack of control all in this top row, because right after the devil, we have the hanged man and the two of swords. It's like, to me, all that top row is saying there's nothing that can be done about this. You're not in control. Like, things are just gonna play out, and it's almost just like we're gonna be like, okay. And so I don't think this is a good thing, because we have like the Six of Pentacles here, right? But in this version of the card, someone's at a casino and they've won something. But then look at this guy right here who's like, ooh, like I gotta, like I'm gonna. So what that says to me is the house always wins. So there's something that's kind of like stacked against us. The house always wins. Like, you may think you've won, but the house is going to get you. And so then I have the World, which is someone in an airplane. And then I have this Six of Cups, Five of Swords. So it's like somebody... To me, it's almost like somebody being eliminated by other people. And it's like whoever's over here, this Six of Pentacles, this person who's had the winnings, it's sort of like this person, this kind of nefarious person, and like, I don't know if these are two different people or the same person, because they're both kind of like women or femmes, right? And they're just kind of like, They're just kind of like, they're not really bothered. They're unbothered people. But then we have this Five of Swords, which looks like someone like being dropped into an oubliette. So it's like we have some people here who are like eliminating someone else for some reason. And so we're going to go around again. So this Devil is death. That's not good. Whatever it is, that's like a super negative thing. The Devil and death. And again, there's nothing as inevitable as death. And so that's more of this, just like, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do about this. Though it doesn't seem like, whenever we're talking about the Jack, usually we're talking about more world events. And something that, while it might impact us, it's not like necessarily happening to us directly. So I'm not saying that thing is going to happen to you. I'm just saying that there's something that we're not in control of. Yes, the Jack. So we're not in control. The Jack is in control. The Fool. That's the Clown. But it's almost sort of like, whatever that death and devil is, like, it's sort of like the Clown is walking to it. Like, it might be the Clown's doings. Two of Swords, the Sun. So, this is so weird. Like, but I'm gonna talk to you about what, like, I see from this, but I actually don't know if that's even relevant to the read, but I'm going to describe it because it was the thing that stuck out in my mind when I saw this, the Sun. It was from Terminator 2. You know, when she's standing there and she's looking at the children on the playground and like the nuclear bomb goes off or whatever, and it just like incinerates everybody, and then including her. That's what that reminds me of. But again, that's just sort of like, we're just talking about something really fucking horrible. Six of Pentacles, Judgment. This is almost like whatever it is, right? Even if it's horrible, this is some sort of like karma. It's like we're not meant to, like when I'm saying it's totally out of anybody's hands, this is just like, it may be horrible, but it's also kind of like meant to be. All of this. King of Swords, Ace of Swords, Five of Cups. What do I want to say about that? That's what's on the World. Oh, this is the person. The person who this is most affecting, right? It's this person who we're seeing. I'm not saying they're literally at the casino, but it's like someone who, I don't know. It's almost like someone who's thinking they've won something. King of Swords, Ace of Swords. But you can see what this person did with their good fortune is actually somehow harm others. Because our King of Swords is like not being very compassionate to whoever this is down here. Ace of Swords. Oh, and he has that. This is like this person, you can see that the ace, the dart, is in his, it's like in his little holster here. You can barely see it, but it's there. And he sort of used that to like target people. So somehow somebody used their power to target people, and it was in like an upsetting way. Or this is the person who's going to be upset. But this is some sort of karma. And then 6 of Cups, 5 of Swords, Page of Wands, the Emperor. Page of Wands, the Emperor. Again, we have like this femme energy in like repose. Just kind of watching this. I'm thinking that it's the Emperor who is going to be thrown into the oubliette, the tower. Yeah, there, okay. But it's sort of like we've got all these people just kind of like ambivalent about this. You know what this is kind of like? It's almost sort of like couldn't have happened to a better person. It's almost kind of like thoughts and prayers. That's what it's like. It's like whoever this person is, I guess they're not well liked or something like that. And so let's see if we can't get some specifics on at least some of this. All right, let's start with Death and the Devil. And I always get when I see that, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? At least in the Jack reads. So we have the 6 of Pentacles back again on top of this. And yet this is like someone, this is just someone who created, it's like they either profited off of problems or they used their own good fortune to create problems for other people. Death and the Devil. And then what is the Judgment? Oh, likely the King of Wands. That is whoever I'm talking about. This person will likely die. I'm serious about that. That's not typically because of the death. That's coming right under death. That's not typically the 4 of Swords. If that person is not going to die, they are going to be taken out of commission, like dropped into the oubliette, right? This person is being eliminated from the board. Okay, how is the Jack involved in this? The Jack is involved with this because they're facilitating it. Knight of Cups, 8 of Wands, 9 of Cups. This gives the Jack great pleasure. They are in fact happy about it. We got cat hair everywhere. Oh, just a wreck. Okay, so this 2 of Swords and the Sun, that's when I'm like most like, what the hell? Because I feel like I might have gotten the essence of like the magnitude of the event, but I doubt I got like anything really practically relevant on that. So just go with vibes, okay, for how I describe that particular thing. It's just that it could be very shocking. Like it's a shocking thing that you're seeing. I don't know. Yeah, whatever this is, it's very evident. So we've got Temperance, the Hanged Man again, and then the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands is just meaning public. This is a very public display, whatever it is. The Hanged Man and Temperance is suggesting again, like we have no power over this. Hanged Man, and also this is something that has been in the energetic works for a long time. Cats are going nuts. So what about this 6 of Wands? Can we get anything on the public display? It's whatever's happening to this person, so I just have to move on. The public display, well, incoming with the Chariot. The Lovers, Page of Swords. It's almost something like 2, because I got the Two of Coins on the Lovers, I'm just like, this isn't two people. This is like two separate things though. And that's what that Two of Coins is telling me. This is like two separate things that are unknown. And that makes it, because I was looking at that Lovers, and I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. This doesn't make sense, and I'm not sure, honestly, that it's supposed to, because those cards, the ones that I'm clarifying now, are the ones that I was like, this is the most symbolic thing that I've said. And typically when something's very, very symbolic like that, that either means that it's a long way off in the energy, and so I can't really conceptualize it because it's not concrete enough, or it is something deliberately that I'm not supposed to know, other than it involves two separate things that probably aren't people. It's incoming directly in the energy, or the experience of it is. And also, this is sort of like, this Page of Swords is also kind of like, I'm not going to tell you. Which then, why would there be a read on it other than to just like tap, 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 like this is in the energy? And so what do I want to know? Because I'm kind of saving this person, this King of Wands, Four of Swords. This is that King of Swords. It's also this Emperor. I'm kind of saving that for last. What about this here, this World, Ace of Swords, the Five of Cups? Well, the Five of Swords and Death, and the Ace of Swords. So I don't know, like, whatever it is, it's bad for this person. We have more on this Ace of Swords. This is some sort of like, I don't know if this person's going to jail, but this is like a message of hard time or hard labor. But this is like the end of the road for somebody. Yeah, it's like, because I have the Two of Wands on this Five of Swords, that's like end of the road. Five of Swords is like cut off, end of the road, death. Hard times, heavy labor, hard time. I mean, it makes sense with this oubliette, which is also the Five of Swords. It just looks very different in that deck. Okay, so who, before I look at that Five of Swords, who are these like passive looking femme energies on Six of Cups, Page of Wands? That's also on the World. I'm just not looking at that separately. Now, I was going to say, before these even came out, right, I was like, these might be victims. Whatever is happening to the person who is reaching the end of the road, they have victims. And these people might testify against them. Three of Swords, Strength, Ace of Wands, Justice. Or they are simply, I would say, it's not exactly happy to see this person meet this end, but it's sort of like, yeah, this is sort of like, you know, that bit in Chicago where it's like, he had it coming. He only had himself to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same. It's a little bit like that. Three of Swords, Strength. These are people who would have persevered over this person targeting them. Okay. So what's this Five of Swords? He ran into my knife. He ran into my knife 10 times. This Five of Swords is, this is like you can't, like you're not going to have any more chances. Two of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Page of Wands. Like, no more chances. It's just like, I don't know. Yeah. And here's the Emperor. I saw the Empress under the deck. It's like, I don't know if these are women who were this person's victims or femme energies, or if it's just like the victims would be in the passive position. So it's showing as a more femme or receptive energy, but it's almost sort of like, for what you did to us, it's like there are no more second chances. Devil under the deck. With the Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Seven of Coins. This is something about victims. Okay. So now, let me make a little bit of space here, because I want to look at our Emperor. I want to see, so the Emperor, King of Swords, King of Wands, that's all this one person, Four of Swords. So first of all, let me put that Four of Swords to the side. I'll look at it, but I think we actually know what that is, right? I don't know that this person is dying, but they may as well. It's like they're as good as dead. It's like dead man walking. Somebody might go on death row. I don't know. That doesn't seem like, or it's like solitary confinement maybe. Who is this person? This person is the King of Swords, is clarified by the King of Swords right on top of each other as well. So this person is a strategist and a narcissist. Whatever this person did, it was all premeditated. And this person like really thought that they could never be touched due to like some sort of status or something. But this person's power, if we remember that casino card, if I can find it again, there it is. This person's power was given to them by the house. I don't know who the house is. The house could be the government. The house could be a very large corporation. The house could be the church. But this person got their power from somewhere else. But they thought that they could never like have their card pulled for some reason. This person is also the Four of Wands and the Hermit. So I don't know if this person is considered a pillar of the community, but that could be what I'm talking about. Six of Swords on that Four of Wands. In some way, this person could have driven particular people out of the community. It's a little bit like victim blaming. It's perhaps women. This person drove women out of a particular community. Queen of Swords, yes. I think this is someone who like targeted women in a particular community. But like this couldn't have been done without the assistance of the community itself. So the other people within this community, other women would have also ostracized these women to align themselves with whoever this Emperor is. Which is answering my other questions, because I want to know what this person's crimes are. The Hermit, the High Priestess, like I said, this person is some sort of like wise, like I'm saying they would be perceived as like a wise person, a pillar of the community. This could be a spiritual thing, I'm not sure. Who's the house? Where did this person get their power? This person got their power from This person might be a celebrity. Oh, this person might be a favorite. Somebody's fave might be going down. A favorite celebrity, somebody who is beloved, somebody who is loved. Women love this person. So they got their power from it's like a certain sort of star power, a certain sort of celebrity, or this is in fact someone connected to a particular celebrity or a well-known person. This is somebody who is in the public eye. And this is someone who either has a lot of women around them, or women are very attracted to this person. And they would have to be, right, to ostracize other women on this person's behalf. How did this person become so beloved? Where did this star, Ace of Cups, come from? This might be an actor, or it's like somebody good at putting on a show. It could be a musical performer. We got Judgment, Five of Cups, King of Pentacles. If this person is a musical performer, it's like they sing ballads. They like sing things that make people cry. This would be perceived as like a tender-hearted person maybe, but it's sort of like, I made my money, my star, right? That star is behind this person doing whatever this Judgment, Five of Cups is, which is the sun. So it's like this, whatever this Judgment, Five of Cups is, this is what this person is famous for. Could we get a little bit more on this Judgment, Five of Cups? It's what this person does. That could also be a producer, a particular producer of people who sing ballads or things that make people cry. Whatever it is, it's something that this person has been doing for a long time. And to me, it's just sort of like, this is just saying that this person has a lot of fans. The Seven of Wands and Four of Cups. But that's also sort of beckoning, that the Four of Cups is like, I'm offering you, like there's something about that. This is also potentially someone that people watch on their phone, but I mean that if it's a celebrity, they would, especially if it's like somebody who's releasing music videos or anything like that. Knight of Pentacles for a long time. It's something to that effect, most likely. I'll pull on this Four of Swords, but I think that probably we already have the information out there. Two things coming together. I wonder what that's about. So vague. Two things coming together that are mysterious. I'm not telling you. All right, the Four of Swords is the Knight of Swords. That's like someone tattletaling. Queen of Wands, there's a whistleblower. Someone's gonna like testify against this person or be like the initial victim to come out and say like this person did something. Nine of Swords, that person's gonna be under a lot of stress and scrutiny. Whoever comes out first, whoever that Queen of Wands is, that's the brave one. Because like whoever this person is, they have a lot of people on their side. People don't want to believe Hierophant, and the Hierophant is very much giving like, well, you know, this person's trying to like get clout, this person's trying to get famous off of accusing this person. So this is sort of like patriarchal. It's like people's internalized misogyny is going to come out against this, because I'm telling you, it's going to be like women doing this to other women, something to defend their fave, right? The Wheel of Fortune. Like this is sort of like that person's going to be under attack, but this is going to be the thing that like starts this person getting put away, at least for a time. Ten of Pentacles. Oh, they might try and pay this person off. the whistleblower. They might try to settle with that person. Yeah, the Emperor, to try and get it to go away, whoever that first person is, they're going to try and pay him off. To get it, unless that's like they're trying to pay someone, you know, to somebody, all right? That's the most extreme version of this, but coupled with that Wheel of Fortune, whatever this is representing, whether it's paying off the person to shut them up or paying someone else to shut this person up, this is designed to, like, maintain the established order, which is why the Jack is involved. Because sometimes the established order is in fact horrific. And when it is, the Jack steps in because they're the off the plan being. They're going to upset the plan when the plan's horrible. It's all according to plan, even if the plan is terrible. If I tell you one little mayor is going to die, well then everybody loses their minds. It's shit like that, okay? Why is it important that the collective, I don't even know if it is important that the collective know this. These are kind of just like demonstrations of the Jack almost, because it's sort of like, if I'm right, if I am correct about certain things, and we've had demonstrations, the Dan Schneider thing with like the killer clown, and the Diddy thing, like 3 days after I was like, well, this is someone who potentially is in the entertainment, and I forgot what I freaking said about it, but it was something about making music, or someone who like makes a lot of products or whatever, like a mogul might try and like flee the country, and then it was like 3 days later the Diddy thing broke, and it was just like, what? All right, this is important for the collective. It is, it's almost just kind of like, what I've been talking about lately isn't really explaining the 7 jump or anything like that. It's really not time to go back into the intricacies of that. Probably because I haven't done it myself. And I haven't told the story about when I accidentally, I didn't know I was working with the Jack at the time. That's when it became like evident that I was, because there are certain things that like you have to do if you're interested in that sort of thing before you can go off plan, that don't involve the Jack at all, or else like it's just not going to work. And you have to complete the Star Heliodor yourself before like you could even do anything else like within the wider world about the Jack. And I'm telling you, knowing what, like in general, I know the essence of what the Star Heliodor is and what it requires, and it's sort of like, yeah, I don't know who's actually going to be able to do that. That might be, like, I can probably, like, relate the information, but it's probably going to only be, like, very, very advanced magicians or the equivalent of who can actually do what I'm describing. Because I'm just like, some people are like, oh, like if I'm describing this, like, oh, this is like something that I've done, or like it's me, and it's like, no, I'm looking at that like, I don't even fucking know that I want to do that. I don't know that I have the capacity to do it. Probably, but like I said, there's a lot of, when you're going off plan and doing things that are going to facilitate that for you, there's a lot of fear. Because there's a lot, like, it's dangerous. Like, I'm serious. Like, even though these things aren't bad, it's like there's danger involved in that. And I mean real danger. And it's sort of like, I don't know that I want to expose myself to it. But I mean, that doesn't mean that the information shouldn't be out there for people who want to do that, because ultimately completing the Star Heliodor on the individual level, and ultimately in the most positive way on the macrocosm, that is part of the necessary process for total human liberation. And in fact, you cannot get to total human liberation without like a very great number of people either completing the Star Heliodor personally, or cats are going wild, man. Or it's like enough people have to complete it for it to kind of, for like a maximum number of people to benefit from the result. I don't know, but there's like, you can complete the Star Heliodor in the positive or in the negative, you really don't want to complete it in the negative whatsoever. That's like a permanent dark timeline. We're going to the bad place collectively in the real world. So what I have here is just like these reads that I've been giving are just kind of long-term demonstrations of the energy or power of the Jack. This Ace of Cups and Magician is sort of like, this is what I do. What you are seeing are like the results. These are almost like gifts. These are my gifts. These reads and like the manifestations of the reads are gifts from the Jack, in the sense that the Jack wants to come into union with people as lovers. And you can't do that unless you believe that the Jack is real. And so for those who just need a little demonstration before they're willing to believe something, where it's like, that's perfectly fine, let's have the demonstration, because I was going to do this anyway. And when I say I mean the Jack was going to do this anyway. So we have something still that wants to come out, and then we shall close the read. And we never close these reads with the Son and the Father, because these reads are off the plate. Okay. Well, what's that? I know who that's our little person here. Oh, something big time is like ending for this person. Quickly. So this is kind of an incoming thing. This is going to happen fairly soon, I would guess. Fairly rapidly. Maybe 8 weeks. 10 days to 8 weeks. Before you start seeing the initial manifestations of this. Could be sooner. But maybe not. Whoever this person is, it's like they're a tough enemy. Yeah, it's unclear about what the outcome of this is. Because of just the nature of this person's position and the fact that they like have a lot of goodwill behind them. Like I said, this is going to be like something ugly going on, likely with women, but you're going to see a lot of woman on woman, some lateral violence going on here. Can we get a timeline? I've kind of already gave it, but I'll just ask the question. And this is what I mean when I started the read by looking under the deck and I saw the Empress. It was like someone doesn't want to see something. And it's sort of like people being in denial about a certain person. The Tower. Ew. The Queen of Cups. So sad. Such a sad, sad situation. Elton John, right? That's a ballad singer. It's not Elton John, but it's just like, what do I gotta do? What do I gotta do? When sorry seems to be the hardest word. I don't know. But at least my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, somebody's going down. Again. Down with the clown. So, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, this is reality, and I am your GM, your game master for this, the game of life. I am also, of course, the greatest magician of the age, and perhaps the greatest magician of all time. And together, you and I will perform the greatest magic trick of all time. We will reverse the polarities of the world, make America great for once, fly this boat to the moon somehow, shift the world onto the mega happy timeline, perhaps leaving it a much better place than it ever has been before, because we are my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies. Crawling on the planet's face, some insects called the human race, lost in time and lost in space. End meaning.